Welcome back to Business Fix. We're still talking about business performance management. And with us now is Joanne Russo, the president of Russo Corp. Welcome to the show, Joanne.
Well, thank you both for having me here today.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk a little bit about strategy. Now, what would you say, if you could help us with 3 key strategies that business owners can use while they're growing to take care of financing without running into financial difficulty?
I'm going to keep that very simple, and sometimes the most simplest things are the items we forget. As a business owner, we need to recognize that we are there to have a dream and fulfill that dream. And in order for any success to work, we have to ensure that we communicate. And communication involves several things. Communicating with your suppliers, communicating with your staff, communicating with your contractors, your customers. You are their vision. They rely on you, on your expertise in making sure that you deliver the product, the dream that you are hoping for. And sometimes we forget that. We forget as business owners that we're out there, and our relationships with our customers are very, very crucial. The other specific item that's important as well is your staff. I always use a small example that our team is our foundation. They're your family. They're there carrying out your dream and your goal as well. And their participation and their involvement in succeeding as a whole is equally as important. So being hands-on as an owner when it comes to dealing with your suppliers, getting the feedback from your staff, understanding that everybody understands the purpose and the function of where you want to go is important. That sort of ties into, okay, now that we've set our goals, what does that mean for our going forward plan? How do we project that in our existing cash flows? Do we really want to be this big company, or do we want to start off small with the intentions of moving forward and growing big? I see so many times when you have these organizations where their big vision is to be this big company, and I sort of sit back and I say, well, sometimes keeping a small goal is equally as important, because if your foundation from the beginning isn't found and structured from the onset, it's going to be much more difficult the further larger you get. So sort of building that into your cash flows, making sure everybody has the same ideas is so important that we sort of forget the basics there.
You brought a lot of communication to it. I heard the words communicate a lot in that. Thank you.
And communication is very, very important. I mean, it's simple, but it plays such a significant role. Your customers want to rely on you, your team, when it comes to what is wrong with my product, why am I not getting the sort of service that I need. And consider it like a relationship. I mean, I always go back and I say your business is like a marriage. And the foundation of that is making sure that you express your views, make sure your customers understand you is so vitally important.
You mentioned goals a couple of times. How do you get your organization to set goals and to stick to them?
Small goals are so important. We all have this big vision, and someday, and hopefully, I always say to individuals, you will get there. But keep your goals basic enough, because once you have a basic foundation, you can strive for a bigger goal. And ensuring that everyone understands the goal. Yes, we will get there long term, but having a small goal working towards a bigger goal is so important, because we all have a clear big picture of where we want to be, but making sure that your goals are within your cash flows. Cash flows are important. As an owner, you have to recognize that even though you may have a team out there, like your accountants or your bookkeepers, who are working on your day-to-day cash flows, you have to understand them as well. I mean, you may be that retail entrepreneur that's out there, or that mechanic that's out there, you know your product, but you also have to understand that your cash flows are going to get you to where you need to be. We can rely on our team to assist us, but you as an owner have to know, when's the limit? Where do I want to stop? How far do I want to take this? Do I really want to move to the next step? And if I do want to move to the next step, what does that mean for us as a whole?
Now, you've used the term team a few times, and transparent communications in team. Can you speak to the role of the team plays?
The team is very important. Your team could be from the person in the back room who's just doing data entry to your CFO. Everyone in your organization has a unique, special role, and they need to recognize that their role is just as important. In our office, for example, I may say I'm the trustee in bankruptcy, but I won't be here today if I don't have you by my side. And we're all equals. Your input is just as important to me as me giving you my input. Doesn't matter how negative that input or positive that input means. Everybody's views matters, and everybody's job has a specific role. In large organizations, sometimes there's this unfortunate image that if you're the boss or you're the CFO, the small person down the ladder doesn't really have any sort of interest with the business itself. They're just as important. They've taken you to where you need to be.
Joanne, thank you very much. This has been very interesting.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Business Fix right after this.